Nerderotic.com.
Welcome back to Nerdrotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from Nerdrotic.com. And what a great weekend of entertainment it has been. What a great week. We've had Cobra Kai land. It was brilliant. We had the great season finale of The Orville. The week prior to that, Star Trek Discovery finally ended. And of course, the masses are enjoying Avengers Endgame. Good times had by all. So what are we going to be talking about? Brie Larson. Yep, we're going to be talking about Brie Larson partially because I've gotten so much crap from my last video that I've always said I'm just going to make more if you keep complaining. Also, Brie has said a couple things. Now, many YouTubers have made videos on her wanting to direct an MCU film, and she also thinks she is in charge of the MCU now. It has turned into the MC-Brie-U. I'm starting to think that she has pictures of Kevin Feige. She's got some major dirt on Kevin Feige because he is her biggest cheerleader. Hashtag me too, or I can't resist, hashtag Brie too. Now, Brie has been very vocal about using the MCU as her personal social media platform, and she is not stopping. According to Variety, Brie Larson on diversity in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We gotta move faster. While Brie Larson is thrilled over the success of the female-led Captain Marvel, and that's what the film is known as now, not Marvel Comics Captain Marvel or the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Captain Marvel. It is the female-led Captain Marvel. The actress wants more diversity in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Larson sat down with Variety's Mark Malkin for the first episode of Variety iHeartMedia's new film podcast, The Big Ticket. I'm happy to be on the forefront of normalization of this type of content and to prove once again that representation matters. Diverse storytelling matters. The female experience matters. And these are markers, Larson said. So it's something I've always known and I think a lot of people always knew. But this is just normalizing. It really? Is it? Because I kind of thought it was normal anyway, and you guys are just trying to virtue signal yourselves right into the Virtue Signal Hall of Fame at this point, because you're just stating the obvious, you're just stating things that are happening already, and you're acting like you're the first person who did these things. You are not diverse, you are not inclusive, you are basic. She said having little girls come up to her and say thank you has made her surprisingly emotional. Really? I wonder if that'll ever come across in any of your films. I don't think we think about that all the time as kids. You are a kid, Brie. I think we accept what we have. What does that mean? But to see this new generation of boys and girls or kids who don't identify as either, ugh, being able to see this on screen and to not know anything different is really exciting. Malkin brought up that he never thought he'd see an LGBTQ superhero, at least not when he was growing up. That breaks my heart to hear that because there's no reason, Larson said. I don't understand how you could think that a certain type of person isn't allowed to be a superhero. So to me, it's like we gotta move faster. But I'm always wanting to move faster with this stuff. And this is where I'm gonna call them out, you freaking idiots. Well, there's a character called North Star. He was created by John Byrne and Chris Claremont. His first appearance was X-Men 120. He was created in 1979, and he was written as gay since then, but they didn't have him come out until 1992 because of the editor-in-chief at the time, Jim Shooter, and the Comics Code Authority, because in the 80s you could not have an openly homosexual character in comics. But there was many circumstances where they alluded to it prior to 1992, and after that there has been no shortage of gay comic book characters in comics. Why? Because it's normal now, Brie. You're not on the forefront of anything, and I love how you labeled yourself as being on the forefront of this. It's not the 90s. It's not shocking. It's not a hot take. It's not cutting edge. Will and Grace, the first lesbian kiss in Buffy, those happened over 2 decades ago. The hubris of this woman and the protection and reverence she gets from the Access shill media. Larson is committed to empowering others. Thank God Brie Larson is here to help us all. It wasn't enough for me to just look strong on a poster. Did you? It needed to extend further than that. Did it? She said, I feel like I can't at the end of the day go to sleep at night if I didn't do everything that I possibly could. What? Accept a paycheck, get makeup, get hair extensions, get a haircut, put on a costume for about 15 minutes of screen time and then go buy a $10,000 handbag and have your assistants put up some socially conscious tweets? I know Brie is kind of a magnet to this stuff, and at this point she's become YouTuber nip, but it's really hard to resist when she says stuff, again, like labeling herself as being on the forefront. It is the MC-Brie-U, but wait, there is more. Avengers Endgame. Brie Larson would like to direct an MCU movie because she did such a great job on the Unicorn Store. The Captain Marvel star also really wants Kamala Khan and the A-Force to get their own films. And I'm right there with Jeremy from The Quartering. I don't think there's anything in this world I want as much as an A-Force film. I think I might want it more than Brie Larson does. And I think it's kind of cute that some people still deny the fact that Captain Marvel was intended to be a feminist film, a film with intersectional feminism. During your time playing Carol, you've been really vocal about intersectional feminism. There are so many amazing female heroes in Marvel Comics. Which one would you like to see headline their own MCU movie? Anyone you are just dying to see on screen? I would love to see a Valkyrie solo movie for sure. I'd love to see a Miss Marvel movie for sure. They haven't even begun to tap into their abilities, and I love her story so much. It would be my hope she comes in sooner rather than later as Carol's sidekick, and even eventually kinda takes over. And then, of course, the Wakanda ladies. I could watch a whole movie with those warrior women. There's so much to be mined from that. So I think there's a lot of material out there and a lot of new worlds to delve into. And while I'll agree with her there, I won't agree with the characters she came up with, particularly with Miss Marvel Kamala Khan, who is part of the all new, all different, all terrible Marvel. There are good female characters out there. I'd be okay with the Valkyrie movie. Not my favorite, but I'd be okay with it. The Wakanda women are great. They're fine in Black Panther. Not too sure if they could really carry their own film, but she goes on. So you're not just an actress, you're a director too. Do you have any aspirations to direct an MCU movie? Totally. I mean, for me, whether it's acting or directing, it's about story. Really. And I've always been incredibly impressed with Marvel's ability to talk about very difficult subject matters, whether it's the internal human condition stuff or worldwide issues. Through the metaphor of superheroes and aliens in space, I feel like they've become such a powerful tool of connection that of course it's something I would love to tackle eventually, given the right story, because just on the acting side of Captain Marvel, I worked on it for 2 years. Wow. Really? And I think it's even longer when you're writing and directing a Marvel movie. So it has to be the story you really feel passionate in your gut, that it's undeniable and will carry you through for a couple of years. Kind of like your Unicorn Store, the semi-autobiographical story about a young woman who doesn't want to accept adulthood or the patriarchy, but looks for the ultimate phallic symbol, a unicorn. When given another chance to talk about the MCU in a fun way, in a non-political way, asked what Marvel heroes she would team up with in the future, she gets political. She stays on point. She is all about political placement, kind of like what they do in Doctor Who and the BBC. It's almost like she's sponsored by some sort of political organization. I'm still really into the idea of an all-female Avengers movie. Getting all the women together and getting them to work as a team would be so powerful and iconic. Just because having just seen Avengers Endgame, getting to see all of those characters on screen, you realize the beauty of these new superhero movies is that everybody has their own special skills they bring to the table, their own, superpower. And to see women work together and in that way as a team is not something we've seen enough on the screen. Way to stay on point, Brie Larson. When given a chance to even reference men and women teaming up, she stayed focused and talked about all women working as a team, to use the term coined by my good friend Comics Division, the vagina hive mind, intersectional feminism, engaged, to separate men and women. That's the whole point of this. They are not a collective. They are not a voting bloc. They are women. They are individuals, just like men. The scene that got the most cheers outside of Cap picking up the hammer, sorry, spoilers, in Avengers Endgame was when Tony and Pepper were fighting back to back against Thanos' minions. People stood up and cheered at that scene. I cheered at that scene. Men and women working together, or women and men, don't really care. But this intersectional feminism being played out in our comic book films is what I've got a problem with. I don't care what politics exists. You can have whatever politics you want, but keep them out of my superhero films that were meant to appeal to everyone. themes that kids don't give two craps about. Not my kid, not any kid. Brie Larson's Captain Marvel got no emotion from any of the 2 screenings I was at from anybody in the packed theater. Aside from the Rise of Skywalker getting booed, Brie Larson's Captain Marvel got nothing. No cheers, no boos, nothing. Complete apathy. People don't care about Captain Marvel, but this is the future of the MCU. Kevin Feige has signed off on all this. Why? I don't know, but it has truly turned into the MC-Brie-U. Please like, share, and subscribe. Everybody have a great day, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.